The following Best of Central Florida program is sponsored in part by Solar Ray, Central Florida Skylights, Heart of Florida Roofing, Covenant Roofing, and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
Welcome to the show and a happy weekend. Yes, indeed, we are back outside, and we're outside because today, important show. First of all, let me welcome in my beautiful co-host, dear friend, Makaila Nichols. Makaila, how are you today?
Great.
Today is all about best roofing and design, and this is one of those industries, Makaila, that you really have to trust who you hire.
You're right, Justin.
Why are you talking to me like that? You don't trust your co-host?
No, I do.
Oh, okay. Because when it comes to roofing, you need to trust your roofer. If you're going to do design work on your roof, you need to trust them. We're in Florida, we have storms. There are a lot of bad companies out there. We call them storm chasers. I guarantee you the people we introduce you to today are not storm chasers. In fact, they are fantastic at what they do. I'm excited, actually. I think we're going to do a real good public service today.
Most definitely.
Are you ready to go?
I am.
I think we should do it. So here's what we're going to do. Quick break. Very quick break, actually. And when we return, it is the top 3 best roofing and design companies in all of Central Florida. Can't figure out what I love more, Solar Ray or Michael Brownstone. Michael, how are you? It's good to have you back here, buddy.
Brotherly love.
I know. I love Solar Ray. I just think it's crazy out there, people who own a house but have not gone solar yet. What are the reasons to go solar?
Well, you're locking in your utility rate today, right? There's a 2.5% historical inflation rate in utilities, and you can lock that in today with whatever size system and whatever savings you're going to get out of that system today, is you're going to get an additional return of 2.5% per year.
You've been around since 2003 at least, maybe a little bit earlier even. A lot of solar companies have popped up, but these companies are more like sales organizations. What separates Solar Ray from the rest?
Well, I'm in this at the very beginning to try to do well by doing good, right? So that's a saying out there, and what it is, you know, of course I need to make a living, but I also want to be able to do something for the community and for my neighbors and for the rest of Central Florida. While I'm doing that, it makes me go to sleep well at night.
And while you're doing that, you're saving me money on my electricity bill, and generally speaking, quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it could be the entire bill. It's up to you. What's your budget on what you want to have as an expense? And it could be all the way down to zero, right?
Yeah.
So, and you can get loan packages and a price point where you're saving money from day one. The second that it's turned on, the second that the utilities change the meter, you can be saving money that day.
And not only am I getting a tax credit, also, I don't necessarily have to write a check at all at the beginning.
No, of course the price is always better. Cash is king, right? But yeah, you can get interest rates all the way down to 0.99% still today with interest rates.
0.99 with mortgage rates where they are. That's unbelievable.
Yep.
Keep up the great work. So we love Solar Ray.
Thank you.
Always
Love
great.
you too.
Do yourself a favor. If you have a house, you don't have solar, call Solar Ray today.
The following Best of Central Florida Makaila's Choice is sponsored in part by Central Florida Skylights and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
Having a roof over your head is obviously super important, but who doesn't love a great design to go with it? Makaila's Choice for best roofing and design are my dear friends at Central Florida Skylights. I'm joined by the owner, Scotty, and Torrin, his son, who's the head of sales. So happy to have you all here.
Yeah, thanks for having us here. We're very excited to be here.
I mean, this display behind me kind of speaks for itself, but why don't you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yeah.
Well, we're a family business. I have my son, Torrin, is head of sales. I have Jaron, that's a technician assistant for me, and my wife that does our scheduling. And all together, this family business just really clicks. Everybody loves us. They love that we're a family business. It's more personal than it is business.
So maybe someone's watching and they're not entirely sure what a skylight is. What is it?
So what I would describe as a skylight would be a way to bring in natural light without having any kind of heat any kind of bugs, anything of that kind of nature, just brighten up those dark rooms that we all live with, which is very odd because we live in sunshine state, yet we all live in the dark.
Yeah, utilizing the sun, right? Would make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of the sun, that sometimes means rain. So how does your glass not succumb to the rain of Florida?
Yeah, well, specifically our impact glass unit, it is hurricane rated, so we make sure that there's absolutely no way that leaking can come in. My dad, also being the installer, has plenty of roofing experience, if you wanted to go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, so we have our great products of our Skyflex sealing cement that we seal the unit on top and on underneath, so there's no chance of leaks. And also we seal the unit on top so there's no bugs getting in.
Yeah,
that's important. Yeah, bugs in Central Florida. Yikes. And speaking of, again, Sunshine State, the sun, how do you protect people in their homes from those UV lights?
Yeah, absolutely. Our ceiling rings that are on the inside of the home are double insulated, so there's no way that UVs can get inside, so we're protecting up against any kind of fitting your floors, furniture, countertops, anything of that kind of nature.
So let's say I already have a roof, and now that I've seen the skylight, I'm like, okay, I need one in my house like yesterday. Do you just come on over? How does that work?
Yeah, so we like to do in-home appointments. So me personally, I will come out to your home. We'll take a look at the spacing, see what fits. We have two different sizes here. We have our 14-inch, and we also have our 22. Generally speaking, the 14s are good for small bathrooms, small hallways. 22s are really good for living rooms, kitchens, anything of the larger scale. Talk about placement. We talk about how many you might need because they cover in different arrangements stuff. So once we go through that, click the deposit, then we'll come back out, Dad will do the install, and you'll be all set.
Wow, how is it like working with your dad? That's pretty awesome. I gotta know.
No, it is truly one of the best jobs to have, just having the flexibility and the pressure of, just being able to talk to my family and be like, hey, here's my schedule, here's what's going on. They're able to easily book me in different locations and stuff, and it's so much easier.
Well, why don't we bring your family in for a second before we continue with our conversation? Because I love the fact that it's a family-owned business, and you all work together. I mean, it really truly is a family affair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I love this back here, though, too. You got to tell me what this is. I think this is important when it comes to having an attic and really. And really, I'm sure this helps with your electricity bill. It helps really circulate the air through your house.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the solar attic fan, what it does is it pulls the hot air out of the attic, so your house is cooler because the attic is cooler. All of our attics get to 160, 180 degrees easily. This has a thermostat that's set at 85, so it keeps the temperature between 85 and 100 degrees, which is a lot cooler. So all your stuff that you store in the attic doesn't deteriorate and fall apart. Your house is cooler, the attic's cooler. It extends the life of your roof, your AC unit, your insulation. Plus, you do get a tax credit on it.
Yeah,
oh, is that right?
Important.
Yeah, there is a tax credit.
At the
Still
end
a tax
of the year,
credit.
At the end of the year, that really helps.
100%.
And the beautiful thing is it's powered by the sun.
By the sun only.
And it's not going to cost you any money on your electricity bill, only help you by sucking that hot air out.
Right.
Exactly.
There's no electrical hookups or anything, so again, 100% off the sun. It is going to do what it needs to do is by pulling that hot air out.
What I notice about you is not only do you care so much about each other, this is a tight-knit family, I can tell, but your care for one another really transcends to your care for each and every customer that you talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our Google reviews speak for themselves.
Sure.
I mean, they just go on. There's over 250 of them. It's incredible to see what people say about us because it's, we're bringing our family into their family and we're doing what we can to help their families out and brighten their homes and cool off their attics. It all works together.
Makaila and I talk to a lot of business owners here every single week, and sometimes you can just feel the love exude from one, and I certainly get that. I can sense the pride in your work, the pride in your family, the pride in this business. It's really quite unbelievable. And just the displays that you have, the set you created for us today has been exciting.
I know, it's so exciting.
It's
I'm trying not to turn around and stare at all of it because I'm like, I need this in my home.
Well, I mean, we definitely do a lot of home shows and stuff over at the Orange County Convention Center. We're also down in Melbourne as well. We do a bunch of those shows. And I mean, this is the exact setup that you'll see there. And it's one of those things, especially it's hard for me as the head of sales to bring all of this stuff with me. I have smaller half-size samples of this, but it's great to do those shows because we can show literally everything.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Wonderful work.
What is the best way to contact you guys?
I would say you can check us out on our website. You can also give us a call as well. That way we can kind of get you booked up for the appointments. Check out all of our social media because we post all our before and after photos. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Central Florida Skylights, do yourself a favor and check them out. Get a skylight in your home, and we will be right back after this short break with People's Choice.
The following Best of Central Florida People's Choice is sponsored in part by Heart of Florida Roofing and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.
You have spoken, the people have spoken. People's choice for best roofing and design goes to our great friends over at Heart of Florida Roofing. Chris Erickson joins me. Chris, how are you, buddy?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm doing great. I've been hearing more and more of a buzz about you, more of a buzz about your company out in the community. What's going on over there? I feel something special going on. What is that?
Well, the fact of the matter is our customers love us. When our founders started the company, they sat down and they formed kind of their core of what they wanted to be, and that was based on faith, family, and communication. And so really for us, that's what everything centers around. Whether it's when we're in the home, giving a sales presentation to someone, and we're actually going through and explaining the materials that we're proposing putting on their roof, and kind of walking through the steps that they're going to have so they're completely comfortable with what is going to happen, or whether it's through the production process where we're explaining, hey, when's something going to be coming to your house? When's something scheduled? What's going on? So if there's a delay, this is a construction industry.
Sure.
The reality of it is, I would love to tell you that everything goes absolutely perfectly. There's no problems whatsoever. That's not how it is. We don't, and in my opinion, we don't have as many issues as maybe the other guy, but it happens. And so when those things come up, we always end up coming back to the golden rule, right? Do unto others. So for us, we look at it and put ourselves in the customer's foot and say, if this was happening to me, if this was the situation, how would I want to be treated? What's fair? What's equitable? And that's how we approach it. And we've just really gotten a great response from it.
We've all been to get an oil change, at the little drive-in place, and you're like, I just want an oil change. But
Sure.
by the time you go, they say you need windshield wiper blades, this, that, da, da, da. And I'm like, no, I just want an oil change. How does that analogize to the roofing business? Because I think a lot of people think if I call you over and you come out, that I'm getting a whole new roof no matter what, where sometimes repair might be a possibility.
And that's exactly right. And we find that there's not one solution that fits all. Actually, the funny thing is, there's a lot of the contractors in the marketplace where they're big contractors. They're not even doing repairs anymore. You wouldn't believe the number of times we get calls where someone's not doing repairs, or they don't only do commercial properties. These big contractors, they end up getting larger overheads that they've got to take care of, or the small guys in the marketplace that we affectionately call them chucking in the truck. Maybe great workmanship, but small finances, cutting corners here and there, maybe workers' comp, which is a huge deal for us roofers. At the end of the day, we like to think of ourselves as that Goldilocks company, not too big, not too small, and we really do it all. So whether it's commercial, residential, repairs, full roof replacements, even solar installs, we handle those, and we make sure that we're tailoring that answer that we're giving the customer to what's appropriate for their house.
And roofing, through these fights with insurance companies and homeowners insurance companies right now, some people have sort of a negative connotation with it because they think it's all shady. Oh, you're just going around looking for hail damage, and no matter what, you're going to find some insurance claim. And some people are blaming the roofers or public adjusters, the lawyers. You guys are different. You are just not your regular roofing company. You're trustworthy. You're client first. Heart of Florida is different.
We are, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. I sleep great at night because I know that I'm giving, at the end of the day, great advice to my customers. We get called out all the time on calls related to insurance, whether it's like you were mentioning, looking for damage, and the horrible companies out there that have never seen a roof that doesn't have damage. From our standpoint, if a customer has damage on their roof, when we come to inspect it for them, we're going to take photo evidence of it. We're going to make sure that they understand exactly what's going on, and talk through what their next steps could be. And if they don't have damage on that roof, we're going to look them right in the eye and tell them, you know what, you don't have any damage, you're in great shape. No, don't call your insurance company.
A lot of inflation, supply chain issues, obviously well documented. How are you managing that?
So when it comes to that, we're seeing a lot of roofing's no different than the rest of the nation or the world, really, when it comes to those. There's been a lot of delays in things like shingle price, color's not available. At this point, tile is 20-25 weeks out. And the commercial products have really been the longest lead items that we've seen out there. Just insane. We've actually had some like 100 years worth of experience within our company. So while some of the other roofers out there may have one thing that they're certified in, and that's their bread and butter, right? If you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. For us, we take that experience and we try to bring it to come up with solutions focused on our customers, whether it's for those commercial properties, coatings, where we're able to come up with a fluid applied coating that goes right over top of their existing roofs and actually can give them 10, 20, 30 years worth of maintenance free work on that roof. Or product like this, which is it's actually a steel coated or a stone coated steel product for replacing tile that has those long lead times. And so with this, it gives you the look of tile, and yet those pesky broken tiles that people get from either workmen up on there or golf balls, no longer a problem with it. So those are some of the solutions that we've been focused on trying to provide.
Could be my golf balls. Chris, great job today, buddy. All great things we're hearing about you. Do yourself a favor, check out Heart of Florida Roofing. Justin's Choice is up next.
The following Best of Central Florida Justin's Choice is sponsored in part by Covenant Roofing and Sophia Radio and Television Productions.
And finally, it's time for my favorite portion of the program. It's time for Justin's Choice, and Justin's Choice for Best in Roofing and Design goes to our great friends over at Covenant Roofing. Dan Dufresne is here. Dan, welcome to the show. How are you? We were talking before. I was trying to get a feel for you, and all I can think about is customer service, customer first. You're going to take care of your people.
Correct. Yes, we do.
And that's what we've heard. Everyone says what a great job you do in making your customer feel like they're not just a number. This is a human being. They're doing something they're going to do once every 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I think you said it perfectly before the show. You said that putting on a roof is like putting on tires. There's no joy out of putting on a roof. That being said, there can be a lot of heartache if you hire the wrong roofing company. Mm-hmm. What are some of the pitfalls when you hire roofing companies, would you say?
Just some are the ones that want to chase insurance and take advantage of that. What the common homeowner doesn't realize is just what they overcharge the insurance company. As a result, you and I pay that in our rates every year when they go up.
They sure do.
With us, we provide a fair estimate and services that are typically 2 to 3 days and we're done with the job, and there's no struggle or fight with an insurance company to recoup payment or anything like that.
How often do you hear stories about other roofing companies over-promising things to their customers, whether it's time, whether it's price, or any other type of over-promises in your industry?
Well, first of all, a lot of these guys don't even show up at the houses. They take satellite imagery, they send an estimate, and then the homeowner doesn't know what they have until the roofer shows up. With us, we sit down, we lay out a plan, we show them from start to finish what to expect, and then of course, once we get them on the schedule, the way our office is structured, just the communication that we keep open with people.
Covenant Roofing, you've been doing it for 20 years. First of all, you started in this, and you spent half your life at this point in this industry. You know it.
It's a long time when you say that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you, actually. I was disappointed to hear that, of course. But what do you want to be known for? Covenant Roofing. What do you want to be known for?
With the way that this trade has changed, we stick to our roots. We want to still be able to sit down with the husband and wife or the couple or with the homeowners and just let them know that you're not a number, you're not an email that came in, that we try to leave the presence where you're the only customer we have right now, and we'll make sure that you feel that way when we're done.
Yeah, a lot of people get a little bit scared when it comes time to fix their roof. You know it's time to fix it when you have leaks coming in. But you know, there are times where maybe you don't know it's time for a new roof, but it is. They get scared because the price tag can be a little bit high. What sort of financing options do I have when I want to replace my roof?
We have all sorts of plans that fit everybody's budget, fit the different needs that are out there. You know, there's not very many people that we don't get to work for due to price or anything like that.
And you do a little commercial as well, not just
very
residential.
little.
Very little commercial.
We like the feel of being able to help individuals versus a big company.
what separates you versus the other roofing companies out there? There's some bad ones too.
That's
you
a
guys
good
are
question.
great. There are some bad roofing companies out there. You got to be careful when you hire a roofing company.
What separates us is kind of what you started with, the difference, the promise, and that's on our sleeve is what we wear. That's what we wear. The difference is the promise. The difference is we do not overpromise and underdeliver. Our promise comes out in the work. Our promise comes. You'll see it when there's a problem. We're able to come out and fix it, rectify it, and never leave somebody upset.
That's a great way to run a business for sure.
Thank you.
Your staff, they love you. You treat them differently than a lot of companies do. How important is your staff to you?
I couldn't do without them.
Yeah.
I couldn't do without them.
They're amazing. And this is it's a family business too, but yet you're a big roofing company. So you found this sort of happy medium where you're doing a lot of deals, but it still feels sort of familial to me when I think Covenant.
It is. I mentioned earlier that between all the offices, we're talking about insurance work, that we average between all three locations from Jacksonville, Central Florida to Sarasota, that we're averaging about 150 jobs a month. And each one of those jobs are handled as if they were the first job that I ever started back 20 years ago.
And that's what it takes to run this business. It can be a stressful industry, but I know you care about your clients so much, and you're still so involved. You're not down in Aruba every day. You're there running that business, making sure your customers are taken care of, making sure your staff's taken care of, making sure your family's taken care of. Keep up the good job. Nothing but great things we hear about Covenant.
Thank you.
Great to meet you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Makaila,
Justin.
Are you ready to go get a new roof or what?
Yeah, I mean, certainly.
I feel more comfortable now because it's a weird time right now when it comes to insurance claims, and the whole roofing industry in Florida can be a little bit weird. We have these things called storm chasers, these guys, and you'll notice after a hurricane or something like that here, all these weird roofing companies will show up. Do not hire those people. You need to stick with local, great roofing companies, and there are some of them here. I was so happy to be able to show them to you today. Makaila, fantastic job as always.
I appreciate it.
Special thanks to our WKMG based crew. Glad we could get outside for this episode.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I guess we'll be back in studio next week, huh?
Yeah.
Most importantly, thank you for joining us today and every Saturday here on Best of Central Florida. Hit record series now, and we'll see you next week for more Best of Central Florida.
The preceding Best of Central Florida program was sponsored in part by Solar Ray, Central Florida Skylights, Heart of Florida Roofing, Covenant Roofing, and Sophila Radio and Television Productions.